Two things before I start this video. First off, if you're hearing a hissing sound in the background, it's because I'm using my desk mic. My G35 headsets snapped like a twig when I tried to put them on my head, so they're being shipped to Logitech, who are replacing them for free. But I'm using my desk mic right now and it has a hiss, so you'll hear background music. Try not to go crazy if it's bothering you a lot. And second part, if you ever try and make a video like I'm doing, bit of advice, write down what you want to cover. Don't just try and wing it and talk for 20 minutes and then realize you haven't really covered anything and you can't remember what you covered. But anyway, we're here to talk about Train, or DE_Train, as you'll see it in Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike Go just released last week, I believe, maybe a week before that, very recently, and a lot of people are getting into it now, especially since it's on PlayStation 3. This new version in CSGO has changed a little bit from the old version. See here, you have in the old version, you have more trains or different shapes. There's a lot of trains inside now. The bomb site is here in the old version. And let's go over here. And the new A bomb site is out in the center. And you have the B bomb site, same place where it was, but now there are almost no trains left indoors. There's only these three. Here, and here. Those are the major changes. There are a couple extra areas added as well. You have, unlike this old map, you had basically a straight shot right down here. You had a little platform, but basically a straight shot down to this hallway. And there was nothing over here. Now, there is a large platform up here where you can hide and go up this ladder located there. It creates a nice little, it's very easy to cover the bomb site if you hide up here, and these two air conditioning units give you great cover. And with how open these bomb sites are, they play almost completely differently. It's really neat, actually. I like all these changes. So, our first thing to get to, sorry, I've taken a lot of notes. I'll include a screenshot of what my page actually looks like. Ways T's can attack and contagion points. So, okay, so you have your terrorist spawn right here, obviously, based on the logo you see. And you have your CT spawn here, and the two bomb sites, as I covered. So, terrorists can go one of three ways. They can cut through this way. They can go through a little cut through here to get out to the main bomb site. Or they can go along A and attack that direction. Now, the thing about DE Train, and why I absolutely love it, is how complex the map is. You have another drop-down point here. Terrorists can easily turn and now come out this way. So you can attack from three different directions. You can try throw flashes out. You can rush up this direction, or you can rush across here and play long distance, try and rush up on the counter-terrorist. You can cut down from inside. Going this direction, you can go down here and here. And if you're fast, you can cut through here and cut into here before a counter-terrorist gets to kill you. Attack from three different directions, and they won't be expecting you here. Now, let's say as you're attacking, you have 2 points of contention. By the time you get here, I don't see why I did this, counter-terrorist can get to here, or they can get to here, and they create a point of contention right here. This man can shoot across. If you try and rush up this way, a counter-terrorist can turn up this corner and start shooting you in this direction. If they try and go long to get here, the counter-terrorist will have gotten to here. So the point of contention will be this zone here, depending on how fast they run. Usually the terrorist will be stuck around here, shooting the counter-terrorist over here. And of course, as you rush through here, you'll get to about this spot here, whereas the counter-terrorist, they rush up, will get to about there-ish, which creates the contention point right here. So the map, there's a lot of different ways to flank around. It's very creative the ways you can go. You can do full fakes with how close the bomb sites are together. Transitions aren't too far. You can throw flashes and then drop down and attack into A while B's thinking you're rushing into them. You cannot send one guy into B and send four guys along. He creates a lot of noise. Hopefully one guy rotates over, then you just push in. Lots and lots of fun, interesting strategies with all the different cut points. Actually, I'm covering this a lot faster than I usually did. I actually rambled for about 20 minutes and didn't get this far into my notes. So, let's say you want to do a couple strategies. Well, you can do the 2-3. You'd send 2 through this direction, and 3 would go long. Hopefully, this will put enough pressure on here that before the counter-terrorist could rotate over, you would take the bomb site and plant. There's the 4-1, as I spoke of. You can send 1 guy over here to create noise, and 2 here, 2 here, as you try and catch them as they rotate. Lots of stuff you could try, all 5 actually. This is what I've seen, it's really neat. You make a lot of noise going through here, so they think it's coming through B as they hear the footsteps. All 5 drop and just push as fast as you can. It does create the possibility where 2 good placed nades or someone is really good at getting headshots can take out the whole team, but it so rarely happens. It's actually a very viable strategy. There's so much you can do with this map. It's really amazing. You literally just have all 5 guys just sit over here, wait for the counter-terrorists to get pushy. Once you take them, everyone pushes in as fast as they can. Now, this overhead view that you're seeing now is kind of nice, but really you're not going to know DE Nuke until you actually get down, you play it, you scrim, and you actually look around the map, which is actually exactly what we're about to go do right now. Before I start off saying anything, I'm actually going to point out one of my favorite little things that Valve does. They like to add little bits of story into this game as you play, even for a multiplayer game. See, terrorists, they spawn in this parking lot. What happened was they hopped over this wall, set up this ladder, jumped down onto this container, came across, they saw this man, so they shot him twice. I don't know, I saw this coming. As you run around the map, you'll find, the overhead gives you an idea for strategy, but really you have to get into the map and see all the little bits and pieces, places you can hide. Just test out new ideas this way, test out what works the best. Like, one thing people like to look at is, they see this, and they see a square. They can't see past the square, they might be able to hop onto the square, but that's all they see. So this is an immovable object by my father. Well, it's not a complete square. You can sometimes peek around corners, get these nice little shots. You really have to think about these things in video games, because it's very interesting how I'll see someone. Let me find a better example. Like, they'll see this and they'll peek through here, but they won't think of shooting through those 2 items. They usually pop out and farther and get him there, or they'll wait till he runs past here. Shoot him there if you didn't hear it. And I don't know, it seems like such an obvious thing that most people will get down to, but if you're taking this class, it may not be too obvious to you. Don't feel bad, lots of people make that mistake. You just think about objects that you see, and don't think of them as solid objects usually, just think of them as the actual objects they are. How would you shoot around this item in real life? You wouldn't want to try and fight him here if you can shoot him down to these areas and have all this metal blocking him from shooting you back. Same with, so you have this piece of brick here, and you want to watch down to this direction. Kind of got an angle here, but a lot of metal's obscuring your shot. If you step out, you're a lot more vulnerable. But if you run back here, hop on this piece of metal here, you can shoot over the box, and you're harder to see. Yeah, he can possibly hit you, but most people, they'll simply wait for him to get out to here, or they'll try and push up, or they won't even bother, and they'll try and even play way back here, and just let the enemy take the whole bomb sites. Metal block especially blocks your view, so you're just going to try and hope you can get one. And this is such a much better idea to hide up here. With every map and every game you play, there are little tricks and tips that you need to know. Like, here's one I saw while watching, I forget what it was. I was watching a competition that was being streamed live. Usually you see this area here, you hop up on here and try and get past. But he had worked so far, I can't even get it, I haven't tried that much, but you can hop over in one go, and just drop down, and attack and do what you need. So just hopping over that rail without touching it, without being stopped, is definitely a trick you want to know for this map. If there are any skill jumps you can get to that are legal, if it's possible to get up there and not be banned in a tournament, I would definitely take some time to learn how to do it. Same with planning on bomb sites. Let's say as you go inside here, get this bomb site, normally you'd think you want to plant where the big B is, so you plant probably here. Well, let's think about it. You can plant anywhere around here.
Activating the bump.
That works. You can plant actually outside here on the ground, anywhere in this little red area on the radar you see up that direction on my screen. Let's see, if you plant here,
I'm planting the bomb.
they're going to have to run all the way around. They'll be exposed from this direction, but counter-terrorists are in this general area, so you probably don't want to go this way. It takes away your hiding spots. planting here is obvious, and these two large objects give them cover. But if you plant out in the open,
Planting.
they have to run and defuse out in the open. You could be hiding up on this ramp over here, hiding back in this room, waiting to hear the defuse, be hiding behind this, or maybe even just squatting right here and waiting. Or, one of the ideas I've used in a couple scrims I've had the chance to play, you plant out here.
I'm planting the bomb.
Right there. I won't plant it actually. And all I did was I simply ran over here and hid here. And I waited to see if any enemy would run past. When they did, I took a shot. And with doing this, they'll usually run around, they'll come and they'll check. And if they run this way, I've already got my shot on them. But they get about here, they won't see me. Go over here, and they'll start to defuse. And their teammates will cover, thinking I'm probably coming from up there, or somewhere way back here, maybe even just hidden around. And one final thing to know about DE Train, and to think about while you're playing maps, or second to last thing. Normally in Counter-Strike and Source 1.6, you could go underneath all the trains on this map, or almost all of them. This one you cannot. Your actual ways of moving around the map are a little bit limited in that way. And by the same token, in Counter-Strike, I know 1.6, if you crouch down next to the side of a train, you might have a good shot. Well, as you see here, I can take out kneecaps. But if I run over to the same spot you saw me shoot, I cannot cover that area over there. I might be able to get... No, it looks like the melee blocks me there. Yep, I cannot get a shot over there to cover. So I do not want to be hanging next to these trains, especially enemies at a distance. They will kill you fast. Just something to think about as you're getting into CSGO, or as you're starting in Counter-Strike. Don't think of objects simply as squares, simply as rectangles. Think of them at all their different points and how exactly in real life you'd want to shoot around them. This is Counter-Strike, so this map doesn't really have too many, but there are a lot of walls you can shoot through. So you don't necessarily have to see the enemy to kill them. And I have one little bit to show you in the SDK editor. It's really neat what they've done. But as you see me running around right now, like you do this with your teammates. You'd simply have one teammate over here waiting and watching, and have one enemy or one teammate run over there and pick each other off. Try boosting into spots where you stand on someone's head and they stand up, and you try and get into an area you couldn't normally access. You just try different ideas. Say you plant, or you don't even plant the bomb, but if you were going to plant it, you hide over here, get behind here, and have a teammate try and find you, try and see if they can figure out where you are. And you can tell them where you are and have them try and pick a strategy. Say someone's been hiding up here, it's been causing you a lot of trouble. Practice throwing grenades so they bounce off this wall here and get them behind here. Or try flashing, see which flash is the most effective. You'll want to run around with your teammates, preferably your starting five, to figure out what the best spots will be, where they can play, and just see if there are any overlaps, or make sure there are overlaps in how you're watching, or if there are any blind areas you're not covering that enemy can get through. This is especially where a clan that's helping you out helps the most. If you can get a friendly clan to yours to scrim you and take each round slow, say you're not even shooting each other, they just rush in and you wait till you can see them, ask them what were the holes in our defenses, what did you see that we could do better, did we catch you off guard in the spots we were hiding. Just work it out. It's really good to have as much help with this as possible. I know most FPS games, people like to emphasize their own skill and ability, like I kind of did with those screenshots I posted or showed you at the beginning of this video. But it's a team effort, and it is definitely getting as much help as possible from as many people as possible to get good at these games and to be good at competition. So I'm going to show you the SDK and how that can help you a little bit in understanding the map in ways you probably wouldn't think of. Say like this area over here, or if you head down this hallway. Mexican hat dance music. You get up on this area here. By yourself you cannot, and you look at it and you think, oh, that's probably, you can't get up there anyway. When you look at the map itself though, it seems that there are a few areas that with a little help you can exploit to benefit, or at least the enemy's demise. So the SDK editor, it comes with the PC version of Counter-Strike Go. Actually, it comes with any version of the source engine that you buy, but this specific version of it comes with CSGO. It allows you to make maps, edit maps, do your own little thing. Like what you're looking at right now is the actual map of DE_train as it looks in the map editor. Now I'll show you something neat that you can use to figure out. Say, see this area up here? This little walkway has these clipping brushes. And what this clip brush does, as you'll find out, is it stops players from entering it, and clipping into it. It does the exact same thing as a wall, but it's invisible. So that's why you can't get up on this platform. And they have these little brushes, like you can't get up on this roof here. But if you look, there's no clipping brush here. There's absolutely nothing stopping you from boosting a guy onto this platform to watch this direction. What could you do with that? As a counter-terrorist or terrorist? I don't know, you'd have to test it out. It may be a horrible idea, but it might work. Same thing with over here. You have a clipping brush here, and a clipping brush here, but there is enough space to get someone up top to watch down towards this direction. Maybe that split second of throwing off a counter-terrorist as he rushes up and goes, what the hell, will get you the shot you need. And you'll also have to test with, or check with, the tournaments you compete in to see if boosting into those spots would be legal or not. And you can do this with every map, or almost every map. Let's open another one up. Let's close this one so my game won't lag too much. I'll explain what you're seeing here in a second. Open. Oh, it's not going to give me the folder, is it? Well, anyway, you can go into all the different maps. You can look at DE, Nuke. You can look at Office, Dust, Dust 2, see how the maps were made, see what type of triggers they use, and if you want to get into map making, that's a great way to do it. Or if you just want to simply know the maps on a much deeper level, the SDK editor is really the best way to look around and dig through the map and find all the little spots you could possibly go to. What you're looking at here with all these little error signs, those used to be models, like tanks or windowsills, stuff like that. This is my map Travail I made for the... Sorry, it's been a long time since I've actually looked at this map. It's kind of neat to see it with all these whitewashed walls. I made it for Day of Defeat Source. And the biggest thing about all the maps I make, the input I get, is wow, Payne, you seem to make a whole bunch of maps for Counter-Strike, and you just happen to put them in, say, Team Fortress 2 or Day of Defeat. So I decided they're probably right, so I'm going to start turning this map into a Counter-Strike map, and hopefully a competition map. If you want to see me doing that, I have Tuesdays and Thursdays to myself finally, so I'll probably start live streaming as I'm editing this map together, and I'm going to start tonight as you see this video posted. And with tomorrow off, I'll do a lot tomorrow as well, so I'll have a link in the description of this video if you want to come watch. You have input, you can throw it in. I'm trying to build it from the competition level. I have a bunch of other ideas, but I figure since I've already got most of this laid out already, I'd give it a shot. One of the neat things you can see is, because that little thing is textured, that means that Counter-Strike Go at some point uses the exact same texture for wood paneling as they did in Day of Defeat Source. That's kind of neat. So hopefully this is giving you a much deeper respect of DE Train, a better idea of how to put together a map, or think of putting together a map in your head for strategies and ideas like that. And again, if you have any feedback, please post it. I'm not going to ask you to favorite and subscribe and all that. I'm doing this for my class if you don't know the context of this video. So go check out the class, and if you like these videos, I will post more. So this is the Payne.